So, hello everyone. My name is Vishwajit Bosha, and I am a BTech graduate in chemical engineering from IIT Guwahati, and I have been teaching for the last 4 years in both integrated as well as non-integrated institutes. Okay, so I have come up with a lecture that is the ASTC role of trigonometry. Okay, the ASTC role of the trigonometry. Okay, so pardon me for my handwriting. So this is a very important topic which we generally fail to study, or which we generally do not think of studying, because it's a very easy topic, but it can be a little bit confusing in our JEE mains as well as in our JEE advanced exam. Okay, for that I have come up with a very simple trick and very easy tricks. Okay, so our topic of concern will be ASTC rule. Okay, and this is a rule in our topic trigonometry. Okay, basically these are identities. Okay, so let us start. When we think about trigonometry, we basically think only of triangles. Okay, but trigonometry becomes more easier when we think of it as a circle. Okay, so this is the let's say this is a circle, and we know the whole angle of a circle is 360 degree. Okay, and this is our x-axis and this is our y-axis. Clear? Okay, so as it is 360 degree, so as I have drawn axis, so this will be 90 degree, this will also be 90 degree. These are preliminary things that you guys should know. Okay, this is also 90 degree. Okay, so easiest method is that as this is our origin, so we can start from this hand of x-axis. Okay, so if we move from this part to this part, okay, so we have traveled 90 degree in anti-clockwise direction. Okay, and in trigonometry, in angular systems, anti-clockwise rotation is taken as positive. Okay, in anti-clockwise rotation is taken as positive. Sorry. Okay, now again from this point, when you cross this line, then you again turn 180 degree, sorry, 90 degree in this direction. Again after crossing this point, again you turn 90 degree, and after crossing this point, again you turn 90 degree in this direction. Okay, so the basic rule is that when you go from this point to this point, you take it as 90 degree, and when you go from this point to this point, this angle will be as a whole taken as 180 degree, or it can be written as pi. Okay, so when you travel another 90 degree, this whole angle will be taken as 270 degree, and when you travel another pi, this whole angle will be taken as 360 degree, and we can just move on as many times as we want. Okay, so the basic rule of ASTC. Now we have to understand what is the basic rule of ASTC. Okay, the basic rule of ASTC, let me draw the diagram again. Okay, this is our circle, This is our y-axis and this is our x-axis. Okay, now this is origin, this is x-axis, this is y-axis. Okay, so the basic rule of ASTC is that the first quadrant, or basically ASTC rule is also written as quadrant systems. Okay, we are here to discuss and to learn about the quadrant systems, how to tackle in the examination. So the first quadrant will be A, the second quadrant will be S, the third quadrant will be D, and the fourth quadrant will be C. So what is S? S stands for all trigonometric values. Okay, what is S? S stands for sine and cosec. Okay, what is T? T stands for tan and cot. And what is C? C stands for cos and sec. Okay, so what does it signify? It signifies that in first quadrant all of the trigonometric ratios are positive. Okay, in second quadrant only sine and cosec are positive and the other angles are negative. In the third quadrant tan and cot are positive. In the fourth quadrant cos and sec are positive. Okay, so let us now move on to the further part. Okay, so which is very important for your JEE mains as well as advanced. Okay, so now we are considering the first quadrant. Okay, so in first quadrant, the first quadrant is, now remember this is 90 degree. Okay, either you are here or you are here for moving. Okay, to remain in first quadrant either you have to go this side, okay, or you have to come back from this point to this point. Okay, so if you are going from this point to this point, it will be the general theta degree. Okay, because if we are going, let's say this is theta 1, say this is theta 2, let's say this is theta 3. Okay, but if you are coming from this point to this point again back, okay, that means you have already traveled 90 degree. Now again you want to stay. Okay, let's say again you want to stay in first quadrant, so you have to subtract the value of theta that you have already traveled from the 90 degree. Okay, so let's say if I ask you in first quadrant, the first quadrant's angle will be either 90 degree minus theta or it will simply be theta. Okay, so let me say what is the value of sine pi by 2 minus theta. Okay, so just always remember when there are pi by 2 values, 3 pi by 2 values, means odd pi by 2 values, then the trigonometric ratios will change. Okay, the change will be from sine to cos. Okay, from tan to cot, and from cosec to sec, and vice versa. Okay, I can assume that you guys already know about this. Okay, so this is sine 90 minus theta. So I am showing you the simple trick how to write it down. We are discussing about the first quadrant. Okay, do not mess up with the second, third and fourth quadrant. So I am writing for the first quadrant. See, sine pi by 2 minus theta. What I have told, if I get odd pi by 2 values, then I have to change my trigonometric ratio. So sine will change to cos, so sine, and I have odd pi by 2, so it will change to cos theta. Okay, now as we know that all of the trigonometric ratios are positive, so simply write down cos theta. Similarly, let's say I can write cos pi by 2 minus theta, so pi by 2, odd pi by 2, and vice versa, means cos will change to sine, so it will be sine theta. Okay, now tan pi by 2 minus theta, Okay, so tan will change to what? Cot. Okay, simple. These are very simple tricks. Okay, now I can write cot pi by 2 minus theta. Okay, so cot pi by 2 minus theta will be cot theta. Okay, so okay, I'm writing down the other two also. Minus theta is equals to cosec theta. Okay, and cosec pi by 2 minus theta will be equals to sec theta. Okay, if someone asks you what is the value of sine, let's say sine pi by 2 minus pi by 3. Okay, I have already broken it down. Okay, so sine pi by 2 minus pi by 3. Okay, now this is equivalent to sine of pi by 2 minus theta. Okay, so sine of pi by 2 minus theta, it's in first quadrant. Oh, that means sine of pi by 2 minus theta is first quadrant, and in first quadrant we know all of the trigonometric ratios are what? Positive. That means only sine will change to cos theta. Okay, so this will be what? Cos pi by 3. Okay, everything will be positive. What is pi by 3? Pi by 3, as we all know, 60 degree. Okay, so what is cos 60? Cos of 60 degree. So this answer will be half. Okay, so just remember these tricks for first quadrant. Okay, now let us move on to the second quadrant. Just let me rub. Okay, chalo. Now let's move on to the second quadrant. Okay, so now let us see. In second quadrant we are going to travel from this point to this point. So if we want to stay in second quadrant, either we have to go from this to this side or from this to this side. Okay, means we have to cross this 90-degree barrier. That means if we cross this 90-degree barrier, then we have to travel certain theta angle to enter into this region, or as this whole angle is this total angle is how much? 180 degree. That means, or pi, everyone knows pi is 180 degree. So what we need to do, we have to travel back from pi the theta angle. Okay, so as we all know कि if we get pi by 2, 3 pi by 2, the trigonometric ratios will change. Okay, but if we get pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, the nth values of pi, okay, so the trigonometric ratios will not change, they will remain same. Okay, so let me quickly give you an example. Let's say if I tell you what is the value of sine pi by 2 plus theta. Sine pi by 2 plus theta is in which quadrant? It is in second quadrant. Okay, so as we have got pi by 2, so it will be cos theta. Okay, now we have to check the signs also in this case. See, pi by 2 plus theta is in second quadrant. In second quadrant, what? Sine is positive. That means sine is positive, the answer will be positive. Okay, so next, pi by 2 plus theta. Pi by 2 plus theta will be sine theta. Okay, so pi by 2 plus theta will be sine theta, and it is in which quadrant? It's in second quadrant. In second quadrant only sine and cosec are positive, but we are given with cos. That means this will be minus sine theta. I hope everyone is getting it. Let's say I am telling it is tan of pi by 2 plus theta. Okay, so tan will change into what? Cot. This will be cot theta, and as this is in second quadrant, and in second quadrant only sine is positive, that means this will be negative. I hope everyone is getting it. Pi by 2 plus theta. Okay, so cosec will be what? Cosec will be converted to sec. and pi by 2 plus theta is in which quadrant? It's in second quadrant, so it will be positive because cosec is positive in second quadrant. Okay, so this was all about your pi by 2 wala case. Okay, this was your, just one second, case of pi by 2 plus theta. Okay, now let us consider the case of pi minus theta. Okay, let's say if I write sine of pi minus theta, and what we know, if we get pi 2 pi 3 pi, and what we know, if we get pi 2 pi 3 pi, then it will be converted into the same thing. Okay, this will be sine theta. Okay, this will be converted into sine theta. Okay, so sine pi minus theta, it's in second quadrant. Okay, it's in second quadrant. That means in second quadrant both sine and cosec are positive, so this will be sine theta as usual. Again, cos of pi minus theta. Okay, so cos of pi minus theta will be what? Just write down cos theta because it is not going to change. Okay, now pi minus theta, that means it is in which quadrant? Second quadrant. Okay, in second quadrant cos is negative, that means we have to write minus cos theta. Okay, again tan of pi minus theta. Okay, so this will be tan theta, and as this is in second quadrant and negative, so it will be negative of tan theta. Okay, so these are certain simple tricks which you need to understand in order to get a good grip on your quadrant systems. Okay, okay, now let's move on to the third quadrant. Just give me 2 minutes. Okay, now the third quadrant, basically third quadrant comes from the first quadrant itself, but let me discuss certain few important points. Okay, in third quadrant, if you want to remain, you have to cross the pi barrier and you have to write pi plus theta, or you have to just go from 3 pi by 2 minus theta. What is 3 pi by 2? 93 is at 270, so this angle is how much? 270 degree. Okay, this angle is 270 degree, so you have to go back from 270 degree to the desired theta you want to require. Okay, so just see, in third quadrant, if we write sine of pi plus theta is for third quadrant, I guess everyone knows it, pi plus theta, so this will be sine theta. As there is pi, so sine will remain sine. Okay, so pi plus theta is in third quadrant. In third quadrant only tan is positive, tan and cot is positive, that means sine is negative, so this will be minus sine theta. Clear? Next, let's say I can write pi plus theta. Okay, so pi plus theta, it will be cos theta. Now it is in third quadrant. Third quadrant means only tan cot is positive, so cos is negative, so this will be minus of cos theta. Very easy concept. Okay, so in this way you have to do. Let's say, as I have already written, 3 pi by 2 minus theta. Okay, so let's say I can write 3 pi by 2 minus theta. So 3 pi by 2 minus theta, it means what? This is odd multiple of pi by 2. Clear? I have written odd multiple of pi by 2, so sign will change, it will be cos theta. Okay, and as it is in third quadrant, so answer will be minus of cos theta. Okay, let's say tan of 3 pi by 2 minus theta. Okay, so this will be cot of theta, and it will be positive, as in third quadrant tan and cot is positive. Okay, so there is another way for which this thing is not mentioned in the books. Another way of solving, the other way of solving is that, see, this is tan 3 pi by 2 minus theta. We already know okay, directly if you remember this graph, it becomes very easy for us to understand okay, what will be this value. Okay, if we do not know these graphs, then how can we do? Just see, so what can we write? 3 pi by 2 can be written as what? pi plus pi by 2 minus theta. I guess everyone is aware of this. Pi plus pi by 2, sorry, not cot theta, pi plus pi by 2. Okay, so I can rearrange this thing as pi by 2 plus pi minus theta. Clear? So what is this? Pi by 2 plus theta. Okay, so pi by 2 plus theta means cot of pi minus theta, and pi by 2 plus theta is in which quadrant? Pi by 2 plus theta, second quadrant, so this will be negative. Okay, so now it is pi minus theta, so cot of pi minus theta will be, negative is already present, it will be cot theta, and pi minus theta is second quadrant, so this will be negative of cot theta. Okay, so negative of cot theta is positive of cot theta. Okay, so this is a bit lengthy. Okay, but this is a trick which we can apply in our JEE exams. Okay, so this was a very useful trick which we can generally apply in our JEE exams. Let's say let me cite out a new example for you guys. Sorry, let's say, what can we write? Let's say sine pi by 2 minus theta. Okay, so it will be sine of pi plus pi by 2 minus theta. Okay, so it will be sine of pi by 2 plus pi minus theta. So it will be, sine will be converted to cos of pi minus theta. Pi plus theta is in which quadrant? Second quadrant. In second quadrant sine is positive, so cos pi minus theta, so this will be cos theta. Pi minus theta is in which quadrant? It is in second quadrant, so in second quadrant cos is negative, so answer C. Sine 3 pi by 2 is equal to minus cos theta. Sine 3 pi by 2 minus theta is equal to minus cos theta. So you do not need to do all these also, just you have to remember this whole system. You can easily find out in 1 second. This is a 1 second question. Am I clear? So this is a 1 second question, you can easily do it. So same wise we can do. So if we want to go from, stay in fourth quadrant, we have to either cross the 3 pi by 2 barrier, or we have to turn back from the 2 pi distance. Means if this is a axis, this is 90, this is 180, this is 270, then this is 360 degree. Okay, from 360 degree again we have to turn back. If we get 3 pi by 2, then we have to change our trigonometric values as I have mentioned, and if we get pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, we do not need to change, they remain same. Okay, so this was all about the ASTC rule, or we can say we have discussed important concepts about the quadrant systems, which are very much important for your JEE as well as other competitive exams. So thank you everyone. If you like the video, please do respond. Thank you so much.